Hello, my name is Rob Bernstein, and I'm the CEO of Coupa Software. Today I'd like to share with you our insights on how we're helping companies spend smarter and save money through an innovative next-generation platform of cloud spend management. I'd like to start off by telling you a little bit about the history of this spend management space, if you're not familiar with it. Spend management has been around for a number of decades, actually. In the 80s, it was handled through spreadsheets and paper. You may recall having to file your expense reports on a paper document or put them into some sort of Excel or Lotus 123 spreadsheet and send them over to accounts payable. You may also recall working with purchase orders and writing them out on paper, maybe faxing them over to suppliers to get the goods that your company needed. Both of those processes are part of the spend management category, and in the 80s and before, they were largely handled through paper and spreadsheet type processes. In the 90s, when technology really began to take off in this area, companies like enterprise resource planning vendors, Oracle, of course, SAP, and others, created technologies as part of their ERP products to help support these core spend management processes. You may recall the early versions of expense management and Oracle apps, or the early versions of procurement or e-procurement as they were called inside SAP R2 or SAP R3. In the mid-90s, other more innovative companies began to enter the spend management space, most notably companies like Ariba and Concur that offered a more usable experience for the processes of purchase order management and automation and expense and report and attendance tracking. These were early versions of this category, early versions of technology, I should say, in this category, and they were largely delivered through a client-server type capability where they were deployed on-site for the customer, and they were then upgraded on-site as well. You had teams of consultants from companies like PricewaterhouseCoopers or Andersen Consulting, Accenture today, working on deploying these apps and getting them out to customers. And then, of course, after the dot-com bust in the late 90s or early part of the new millennium, there was a huge period of time, over a decade, frankly, where there was a lack of innovation in the space. And customers were forced to either continue to configure or reconfigure their ERP modules, maybe extend or add code to their existing deployments of an Ariba and the like. But there really weren't any usable choices that the end user, frankly, was excited about when it came to ease of use and expense tracking or purchase order automation. Now, what happened in this last decade, and then most notably in the last few years, is the advent of cloud computing. And this afforded an opportunity to deliver these types of lightweight, simple applications completely via the Internet with the requirement of only having a browser and access to the Internet on the side of the customer. There's nothing that had to be deployed on site. You didn't have to have consultants show up and do the configuration. All of that could be done centrally from the vendor, and the customer would have the opportunity to take advantage of all of that technology. This is obviously what is being rolled out today and what Coupa is driving a revolution in. These applications are true multi-tenant in their architectures, which means you're able to leverage one code base the same way that we leverage one code base in Yahoo Mail or Google Mail, for example. We're able to send our emails with privacy without anyone able to see our inbox besides ourselves, yet we're still leveraging one single code base across the entire Google Mail or Yahoo Mail platform in so doing. Of course, the huge upside there is that anytime new features are added, every customer gets those upgrades. No one has to come on site, of course, and those upgrades are seamless. The other great opportunity that companies like ourselves in Coupa have been able to take advantage of is that there are providers like Amazon.com that offer services for hosting the platform. So in the case of our company here at Coupa, we don't have any servers here whatsoever. For our corporate mail, we use Google, and for our Coupa infrastructure, we host that completely with Amazon. That allows us to have all of our customers